The number of COVID cases continues to rise across the country and right here in the Twin Cities. Health experts say the highly contagious Delta variant is the cause for most new infections. Reporter Sonia Goins spoke with the head of the Minnesota Nurses Union about the trend.
No, we are not out of the pandemic.
COVID-19 is re-emerging. On Monday, the Minnesota Department of Health released its latest virus numbers, showing 632 more cases and 6 new deaths.
Most of the people are not vaccinated coming in.
Mary Turner is a nurse at North Memorial Health and works on the ICU COVID-19 floor.
Over the last couple of weeks, every time I've worked, the number of COVID cases has at least doubled.
The Minnesota Nurses Association president says patients who come into the hospital with the Delta variant tend to be in bad shape.
I wouldn't wish this Delta virus on my worst enemy. It's serious. They're coming in very sick.
This new wave of COVID-19 is taking a toll on nurses who have been caring for COVID-19 patients for over a year.
It doesn't surprise me when I have nurses telling me, hey, I got another job. I'm going to be moving on to this department, or some of the senior nurses that are saying, can't do this anymore.
Meanwhile, the ICU nurse is encouraging everyone who's able to get vaccinated.
Even if you do get COVID, like a breakthrough COVID or whatever, then it would be like getting the flu, where you're not going to end up intubated on your stomach in my ICU.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The increase in violent crime has many people wondering what's being done to break the cycle. And it's one of the reasons why Representative Ilhan Omar visited North Memorial Hospital on Monday. DELANE Cleveland was there. DELANE?
As shootings have increased in the Northwest Metro over the past year, that has kept hospital staff at North Memorial in Robbinsdale busy. Today, they wanted to highlight a program aimed at helping the victims of gun violence.
With Next Step, I love being able to connect with these young individuals while they're in the hospital. Of course, you're catching them at their vulnerable time, but them hearing that somebody, a complete stranger, cares about them, cares about their well-being, their living situation, their family, their holistic self.
Larry Burgess is a caseworker from the organization Next Step. North Memorial began partnering with Next Step in 2018. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar visited the hospital on Monday to learn more about how the program works. When a victim enters the ER, North Memorial sends out a notification to Next Step. A caseworker then comes out to either meet with the patient or the patient's family and provide them with emotional support while they're in the hospital and beyond, with one of the goals being that the victim won't seek revenge.
Whatever it is that that person needs or that their family needs to make a difference, Next Step is able to help them and provide, and they really try and work with and build that relationship with that family.
If people want to learn more information about Next Step, you can find a link on our website at ccxmedia.org. In Robbinsdale, DELANE Cleveland, CCX News.
If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that there's always room for another home improvement project. For many people, more time at home led to more makeovers. For HAMERNICK'S Flooring Superstore in New Hope, the level of business so far has surpassed even its expectations. As Corey Bork reports in Business Matters, the company is an example of what's changing in the flooring industry.
We started off back in a driveway in St. Paul. It was a carpet and paint store owned by a man named Ed Hamernick.
HAMERNICK'S is celebrating its 75th year, but it's brand new to New Hope.
Many of our employees have been here decades.
The family-owned company with nearly 100 employees opened this flooring superstore right off Highway 169 in late June.
With the expansion of the Twin Cities and the growth that we've had, it just made sense for us to cross the river and come over this way and better service our customers in the west and northern suburbs.
Here, you'll find the latest flooring trends.
We have a lot of products here, and it can be kind of overwhelming, but we usually try to narrow those products down to what the customer sees best in their home.
Autumn KUSSKE-ANDERSON helps customers sort through the options, including the hottest seller right now, luxury vinyl plank flooring.
It's super popular because it is a completely waterproof product.
It looks like real wood.
These products, you get this visual from a 3D printer.
Feels like it too.
So you're going to see the different grains and the different knots, and then if you feel this product, you're going to actually feel the knots and the grains.
And it's meant to hold up to those pesky dents and scratches.
Lifestyle and families and pets and everything. You know, we want your flooring to look great, and we also want it to perform great as well.
Vinyl tile made to look like stone is another popular option.
This will look great in bathrooms, entryways, if someone does want that tile look, and we have that painted bevel, so you have the look of grout, but you don't have the messiness of grout.
For an industry that has experienced its share of supply chain issues, the pandemic hasn't held HAMERNICK'S back.
There's been a lot of talk in the market about waiting for supplies, waiting for things that are just not getting here, whether it be product, cars, other items in the household. We have flooring right now.
For Business Matters, Corey Bork, CCX News.
A Champlin Park student who makes wheelchairs for animals with disabilities is sharing her passion with a younger generation of kids.
I just wanted to educate people and to save as many pets as possible, because even if they're disabled, it doesn't mean, they're not capable of living. It just means they're a bit different.
Shayna Killian is the founder of Wheelies, a nonprofit organization that makes custom wheelchairs for disabled pets. She builds the devices and either donates them to shelters or sells them to people for a fraction of what they would normally cost. Recently, she spoke with a group of students from Champlin Park's school-age child care program. She told them about her mission and showed them how she assembles the wheelchairs.
You kind of just think like, how can we fix this? And seeing somebody like her, it really gets me inspired of other things I can do with animals and different things.
Shayna says she's made 10 wheelchairs for various pets since she started her company last winter. And the Animal Humane Society reopened to walk-in visitors on Monday starting at noon. They no longer require appointments for people interested in adopting pets. Here's a few shots of what's up for adoption right now at AHS in Golden Valley.
The State American Legion Baseball Tournament wrapped up Sunday in St. Cloud. Jay Wilcox and Jason Malillo have highlights from the Hopkins and Osseo quarterfinal round games on Saturday.
After winning its pool at the Legion Baseball State Tournament, Osseo facing Moorhead in the quarterfinals. Starter Jake Contreras is solid from the get-go. Strikeout ends at the top of the first. Bottom two, Osseo with 2 on, but Brady Kwan's liner is snagged by Carson Zimmel to get the Blues back in the dugout. Bottom third, Contreras rolls a clutch 2-out hit to bring around Davis Wick for the first run of the game. In the fifth, a leadoff single and then 2 bunts for hits load the bases for Osseo, and Contreras' fly ball brings home Noah Thompson. It's another RBI for Contreras. Then Moorhead can't twist the double play, and Wick scores again for a 3-0 Osseo lead. And that's more than enough for Contreras. He strikes out the side in the 6th. The big fella goes 7 innings, giving up just 3 hits, no runs, and 9 strikeouts as Osseo advances to the state semifinals. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Hopkins taking on Grand Rapids in the State Division I American Legion Baseball quarterfinals. After an early Grand Rapids run, Jake Perry answers with a 2-run drive just over the fence down the line and right. It's the start of a monster game for Perry, and it's 2-1 Flyers after an inning. In the second, Cole Byer singles past the diving third baseman. Paul Safransky scores on the play. Grand Rapids does get an out at third, but the run counts, and it's 3-1. After another Perry blast in the third, Americo Scolati smacks one to the gap in left center field. Jack Primusberger scores on the triple for Scolati, and Hopkins jumps out to a 6-1 lead. They add one more to make it 7-1. In the bottom of the fourth, tournament MVP Perry connects again, this time a 3-run shot to right center. Perry homers in his first 3 at-bats and drives in 7 runs. After a slow start, Ryan McGee holds Grand Rapids in check, getting some help from Perry at third base with this great play. Hopkins beats Grand Rapids 11-2 to advance. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Both Hopkins and Osseo then won their semifinal round games Saturday night, meaning the O's and the Flyers would meet for the state title.
A great day for baseball in the Minnesota State American Legion Final featuring Hopkins and Osseo.
Bottom of the first, and Osseo Spencer Peterson draws a bases-loaded walk. Davis Wick scores as Osseo starts the game with a hit batsman and 3 walks. It's 1-0. Later in the first, John Klein singles to right field. It's the only hit of the inning and scores Peterson to make it 4-0. They'd add one more to lead 5-0 after 1. Same score in the top of the 5th inning when tournament MVP Jake Perry singles to right field for Hopkins. Jackson View scores, and it's 5-1. Then Brock Zimmer with a ground ball that leaks through into the outfield. Cole Byer is in with the second run of the inning. Later in the 5th, Paul Sofransky drives one deep into the fence in left center field. Ryan McGee and Jack Primusberger score. Hopkins scores 6 runs in the frame to lead 6-5. But that lead doesn't last long. Peterson singles past shortstop and into left. Jake Contreras scores as Osseo goes back in front 7-6. Then it's Brady Quan bouncing a base hit through a drawn-in infield. Matthew Kitzman and Peterson score to make it a 9-6 game. And then later in the 5th, the game ends when Klein singles past shortstop to bring home Peterson with the 11th Osseo run of the inning. They 10-run Hopkins in 5 innings, 16-6 is the final. Both teams do advance to the Central Plains Regional Tournament in Sioux Falls, South Dakota that begins Wednesday. We'll have coverage of both teams at the Central Plains Regional Tournament starting Wednesday on our website at ccxmedia.org. That's all for sports. I'm John Jacobson.